Good morning, Grace Harbor. Welcome back to the channel. My name is David, and our text is 1 Kings 5 and 6 and 2 Chronicles chapter 2 and 3. Today we're looking at a monumental moment in biblical history, the start of the construction of the first temple in Jerusalem. After years of planning, with the Ark of the Covenant residing in a tent, King David had a deep desire to build a permanent dwelling place for the Lord. But God told him that his son Solomon would be the one that would build it. In these chapters, we see the promise fulfilled. Solomon is now king, and he understands the immense task that's ahead. And the first thing he does is he reaches out to a very important ally, King Hiram of Tyre. Hiram had always been a friend of David, and he extends his friendship to Solomon. Solomon sends a message to Hiram, essentially saying, "My father David couldn't build the house of the Lord because of all the wars he was involved in. But now God has given me peace and rest on every side, and I'm ready to build the temple for the Lord." Solomon especially requested timber, cedar and cypress from Lebanon, which was famous for its high-quality forests. And he also asked Hiram to send him some skilled craftsmen, particularly those experienced in working with wood and stone. Hiram's response is amazing. He blesses the Lord for Solomon's wisdom, and he agrees to supply him with all the timber that he wants. He promises to cut the trees, to float them down to the sea at Joppa, and to help him transport them overland all the way to Jerusalem. This was an incredible logistics feat for the time. But it just wasn't about the timber. Solomon needed a massive workforce. Both in 1 Kings and 2 Chronicles, details of the sheer scale of the labor force involved were described. Solomon conscripted 30,000 forced laborers from Israel and sent them to Lebanon in shifts of 10,000 a month. Just imagine the continuous stream of workers. In addition, there were 80,000 stonecutters and 70,000 carriers to transport the materials, and to oversee them, 3,300 foremen. This was a huge undertaking requiring incredible organization and resources. The stone for the temple was quarried and shaped at the quarry itself, so that when it arrived at the temple site, it could be fitted together precisely without the sound of tools working on the stone. The temple itself is described for us in 1 Kings chapter 6. It gives us specific dimensions and details, and in 2 Chronicles chapter 3, it repeats many of these same things. The temple was built on Mount Moriah in Jerusalem, the very place where Abraham had been willing to offer Isaac, and the place where David had built an altar on the threshing floor of Ornan to stay the hand of the angel that was bringing pestilence to Jerusalem. This location held deep spiritual significance. The main building was 60 cubits long, 20 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. For those wondering about a cubit, well, that's roughly 18 inches, so we're talking a significant structure. The empirical measurements translate to 90 feet long, 30 feet wide, and 45 feet high. It also had a porch in the front, 20 cubits long, 30 feet, and 10 cubits wide, 15 feet. And it surrounded the main sanctuary with rooms, and there were 3 stories providing storage and utility space. The interior of the temple, it was lined with cedar wood and cypress wood covered with gold. Every surface was adorned with precious materials. The craftsmanship was exceptional. We learn that skilled workmen from Tyre, like Hiram Abba, mentioned in 2 Chronicles, were brought in. These individuals were masters at their craft, capable of working with gold, silver, bronze, iron, wood, and stone, skilled at engraving and design. The construction of the temple wasn't about the building's physical structure. It was about creating a place where God's presence could dwell among his people. It was the fulfillment of a promise, a testament of God's faithfulness, and a central point in the worship of Israel. These chapters really focus on the resources, the meticulous planning, the countless hours of labor that went into building this sacred space. It wasn't just Solomon's project. It was a national effort, fueled by the desire to honor God. Well, that's where we'll end up today. I hope you'll return tomorrow for our next video as we read through the Bible together. Make sure you share these videos with others. It could be a real encouragement for them. As I've told you many times before, it may be the thing that helps them walk through their journey in the Bible. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you tomorrow.